joy. It is that feeling that we seem to never be able to get enough of. Dr. Nick joins us with more. How do we get more joy? Good morning.
Yeah, I just love reflecting on words, you know, and I think joy is an interesting experience in life. And I almost, Whitney, feel like we need to approach it from the opposite, meaning we might come to understand what joy is and have more of it if we reflect on what was not enjoyable.
Sure.
You almost come at it not from a negative, but from what it's not. And I know that we've all been in situations and we've had experiences where if we're honest with ourselves, we'll say, I didn't really enjoy that very much. I didn't get much joy out of that. And then we reflect on experiences and situations where the joy was just so natural and felt so uplifted.
Yes, and sometimes it's just abounding. I mean, it's just
abounding.
It's like it's just coming at you.
And what is greater than a compliment of I really enjoyed myself last night, or I enjoyed our visit, or I enjoyed going to work. And again, people will say, oh, well, you know what, how can I ever have joy at work, or I'm just not a very joyful person. And I don't know that that should be so conclusive. I think all of us really have an instinctive urge towards joy. I was thinking this morning, you know what my best sometimes sample of joy is?
What is?
Smile. Just to greet someone with a smile, to enter a situation with a smile. Doesn't a smile convey joy?
Absolutely.
It doesn't necessarily convey that I'm jumping up and down, but life is good. We smile.
It's an internal thing.
I think I like to smile especially when I'm greeting someone.
Right, and that is a share of joy between two people for sure.
Yes.
But what about those people in those moments that really steal your joy?
Well, I think we have to distinguish what's a theft.
Okay.
And not everything in life is going to be enjoyable.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that the other person or the situation is bad. We're going to have gray skies. We're going to suffer. We're going to experience moments of deep sadness and grief and perhaps anger. That, I think, is fine.
Yes.
Right? We chew on it a little bit and then we say, okay, my father's dead, but I know that he wants me to enjoy life.
Sure.
Okay. Now, what you're raising is that question of why is it that we feel like some people can steal our joy, or that we give it away, or that we're almost like vampired, We feel like we've been drained, or I didn't like that feeling.
Right.
That's a more difficult one because I don't think we want to make a judgment or blame or put down or discount the other person, but we sure need to be aware of the energy.
And maybe that's more accurate. But I can tell you that I've walked into a room or a situation, maybe it's just one-on-one person, and I'm walking on sunshine and everything's gone great that day, and they just seem to knock down the pillars of joy in my life one after another. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's so heartbreaking because I'm like,
it is.
I was really good before I saw you.
It really is. And I remember telling someone not long ago, I said, you know, this has really been tough. I'm not feeling real good right now.
Is that what you meant?
And that person looked at me, he said, well, you know, that's your problem. It's not mine. And I kind of was like, well, maybe I do need to think about how secure I am in my joy.
Right. Or maybe I should have walked away a minute ago.
Maybe I really should have said, excuse me, I need to go get some water.
I see what this is about. I'm out of here.
Which, again, is not necessarily at all a judgment on the other person. It's just like, I need to step away from this particular heat or this energy drain.
Yes.
Because I want to be joyful. I've heard people say, I'm not letting her or him steal my joy. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with that.
Right.
I have a little
but perhaps
bit of an
it's
issue.
not possible for them to steal it.
That's where I think we need to be discerning. Mm-hmm. It's almost, I mean, am I giving that person too much power over me? Or maybe that person really does have a whole lot of power over me. And I need to really look at how I might grow from it. You know, not every encounter can have an upside to it.
Sure.
So I don't want to go and knock it. I just know that one of the struggles between joy is what's not enjoyable and what's not. And I think we really do need to reflect on which is which.
Which is which.
And do our very best to make something enjoyable.
Yes, yes. You know, it's funny, somebody was asking me about John Pasternak the other day, and you know, he and I did the morning show together for years,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, that is someone who every day greeted the day with joy.
Every day.
I
think
rarely
you're absolutely right.
ever saw him, he wasn't joyful. And it was delightful to work with someone like that.
Yes.
And where does it come from?
Yes.
I mean, he has so much of it.
Yeah.
I think he has more than I do.
Well, I would be willing to say that some of it really is environmental. I'd love to know his parents.
Oh, yeah.
And the people. I don't
You're
know
right.
about John, but I mean, I just think that it'd be interesting to interview him one of these days and find out, because I bet he grew up in a smiling home and in a joyful home.
Yeah. So for people who didn't, how do they find a robust sense of joy?
Well, I think the only answer I could really honestly give is to begin to create moments and experiences that give it. Really look for what's going to give me joy. It's about my life. Remember, we can't be blaming forever.
Right.
So and part of it too, Whitney, is a commitment to I want to be.
Okay.
I want to have more joy in my life. I want for life to be joyful. Yesterday's gone. It won't come back. I have today. What can I do today to make it more joyful? I love when I can see a client just laugh a little bit, and I catch it. It's like, I got a little laugh out of you.
Absolutely.
You know, I stole a little joy out of you, meaning I didn't steal it, but I got it.
Yes.
Good, I got it. See, it is there. It is there. And getting people to talk about things that they love, and it's like, wow, that really, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That was so enjoyable. I let this overshadow the joy.
I love how people start their day with something that gives them joy. For instance, a friend of mine always starts with 30 minutes of music every day. Music and meditation. And then I was talking to Jenny Ballard yesterday, and she said she starts every day 30 minutes of reading. And she said it always gets her day off beautifully. And she's not reading the news, she's reading a book, she's reading
maybe
for
a
enjoyment.
novel or something.
Yes.
But it's something that's giving her joy. Yeah, I caught early this morning this little girl that did the national anthem, like 6 or 7 years old.
Yes.
And I was just smiling from ear to ear. And I thought, what a great way to begin the day. I was just smiling from ear to ear. Because we do really feed each other. We're not in a vacuum. So it is important for us to think about who we associate with.
Right.
You know, and how we can maybe at least say, gosh, I need to be around people who are joyful.
Right.
I think we've got a lot of joy. I have my down moments.
I think we do have a lot. I think that's why we enjoy each other so much.
But I love to laugh and cut up and play and just have fun.
Absolutely.
Have fun like a little kid.
And it is a choice.
It is a choice.
And so today, let's choose joy.
And enjoy.
Thanks, Dr. Nick. More Weekends with Whitney after this.